everybody. Good evening, Andy. Good evening, Airwolf. Good evening, Stephen. That's a good question, Andy. I don't know what happened on Tuesday. I get good days, I get bad days, and Tuesday was a bad day. And it's a bit like, you know that old phrase where you're going 2 steps forward and 3 steps back? It's not like that. It's going 2 steps forward and just 1 back sometimes. And Tuesday, I just went 1 back, and you just have to rest. And so having rested for a couple of days, today was a little bit better, and decided to come and play these games. We've got a big, busy schedule, and I need to get these games done because they're big games, and I want to get them out of the way. And I don't know what I'm expecting from them, to be honest. Manchester City, and then we have the semi-final of the Carabao Cup. Is it still called the Carabao Cup? Don't know. And then we have Chelsea coming up in the league. We have 2 Champions League games in Europe. It is a nightmare schedule through January. I suppose the comforting thing is that both Manchester City and Chelsea will have to go through this as well, hopefully. February then gets a little bit more relaxing. But we've got to remember we will still have the FA Cup. We'll have hopefully we'll be in the last 16 of the Champions League. So that won't take place till March. So February will be a bit easier. But January is going to be an interesting month because as we start the transfer window, bit of news came in from the board that they have given us an increase of £111 million on the previous transfer budget. And so now we have already 155 million in the kitty to spend. Plus we also have over 1,300,000 in wage budget as well. Oh yes, it is the Europa League, isn't it? It was wishful thinking. Good evening, Mercury. Yeah, I was ahead of myself there, Stephen. Absolutely right, mate. But yeah, that is some nice money. I also have players who are definitely going to be sold, including Patterson will go, Hugo Larsson will probably go. He will go out on loan, I think. And there's Doig is going. Lucian Stan has already been sold for 25 million. There are players going out. We could end up with about 250, 300 million in the kitty to spend. And I don't know what to do with that kind of money. I don't know what's available. I think the one player that I want is just that 400. He's worth 475 million, and we don't have that kind of money. But I don't know how to spend that kind of money. We'll have to see what happens. There's a couple of players I've been looking at. This Shequist or Shequist, central midfielder or attacking mid. I've got attacking mids in abundance. I just really don't know how to spend the money at the moment. Very difficult thing to do. Very, very difficult. Yamal is the player that I would really like to sign. But I think we were quoted 475. Was it 475? No, he's actually gone down to 249 million. But that won't be this year. So I don't know what to do with the money. Who is Lay of Benfica? He's a winger. Absolutely sensational player for 21 years old. I could go back to the 4-1-2-2-1 and have a lovely right winger or left winger. Can also play as an attacking mid. I don't know really what to do with that kind of money. So anyway, we have to just for now focus on Manchester City. We're all set to go and play Manchester City. In terms of how I'm going to play in January, I've just decided I'm going into a low block. And we're not going to be counter-pressing. It's all about conserving energy during January. And I think it's probably the right thing to do. We're going to counter-attack. We are a good counter-attacking team against City. I want to dribble less. They are a very good team, as are Chelsea. And I think we will just keep it simple, and we'll do things the very simple way, and see what happens. We've beaten City in the first game early in the season by 5-0. I don't see that repeating. Let's go and play against Manchester City. We're going to put a good first team out. We have got players away. Kamalo's away, Konate's away on international duty. Florian Wirtz is still out injured. He's due to return to training tomorrow. A couple of players unregistered, not a big problem. So the bench is small. But I think it's a decent team. And you've got to be optimistic against Manchester City. We've got every chance of getting something out of this. You can see Florian Wirtz. Let's have a look. The board have given me a B. C+. Recent results. If we look at the recent results, what? We've won 7 and drawn 1, and the board for recent results, what did they give us? That's B, C+. Yeah, dreadful. Like, come on. Tactics, the fans are happy. They've given us a B- for 7 wins and 1 draw. Hard bunch of people to satisfy. We do, like, the dynamics in this club is awful. We do have a lot of unhappy players. Nathan Patterson has to be sold. He's worth 50-odd million, 51 million. There's a lot of interest in him. We've got to get him out of the door. We're trying our best to... it does sound like that. Stephen, what an optimist. It does sound like a bit like that, Mercury. And we currently have 10 players at the club who are unhappy. We got to get rid of some of them. It's a hard squad to manage. There's a lot of important players, and I simply can't give them all the game time that they need. So I'm focused on giving those who are important to me the game time that they want. We don't want to play. We did play positive last time. I think we caught City on a bad day and we were at home. So I think we will just go with what we're doing. I think also we were playing 3 at the back when we played City the last time. So let's go and get this game underway. The squad are very, very happy with the way things are set up there. I think it's right to play the low block. I think we got a lot of games. Oh, this is because I've been playing with Ipswich. And incidentally, I've moved Ipswich on a little bit. We are still unbeaten at Ipswich. Almost halfway through the season now, and we're still unbeaten. Which is quite interesting. That's another save that will be hopefully starting soon. I'm trying to get back into it slowly. But hopefully we'll be starting that Ipswich one again soon. So yeah, they're unbeaten. But let's focus on the game in hand. We've got nothing to lose here. We know how good we are, though. We are very, very good. And I keep wanting to... Although the squad are not that close to me, they are responding quite well. I want to go and check here. We also want to type mark Phil Foden and Haaland. And, of course, Mr. Rodri. So, don't want to get caught out with those. Let's type mark them from the beginning. So, come on, boys. Let's beat City. We're away, and that's why I'm not going positive. It's why I'm playing in the low block. We'll just try and not lose while maintaining a little bit of attacking threat and hope to catch them out. And one of the players who has been promised more game time, and what a chance. And we've had the first shot on goal. I play. Thanks, mate. Good to see you. Thanks for coming to the stream. And we've made a better start than City, although For some reason, I'm not feeling that optimistic at the moment. We've won the last 7 games, is it? And at some point you lose, especially with big teams coming up like that. I'd feel a little bit more optimistic if we'd lost to one of the smaller teams, but we didn't. We won all 3 of those, surprisingly, because I thought we were going to lose one of those games, but we did play very carefully. We did keep an eye on it last session when we played those 3 very small teams last time out, and we won all 3 of them. So that's why City could prove to be a difficult opponent. And they are, of course, they will have all the possession. City are exceptional passers of the ball. But at the moment, we just want to keep the threat down to a minimum. And we don't want to be giving away silly free kicks outside our box. That's one thing for sure. Thanks, Kevin, mate. It's good to see you all. It's lovely to be back. To be honest, I really enjoy live streaming. I get a big kick out of it, and it's good to be back. We're playing on the counter-attack. We're deliberately playing on the counter-attack here today, soaking up pressure. We have a defence that is good enough to soak up pressure, getting bodies behind the ball if we can, and trying to stop that, but that's good. That's good defending. We are a good defending team. Is this on PS5? This is on computer. I've never owned a PlayStation, and I probably will never own one either. And if it becomes a console game, then I'll be finished. It's a PC game in my head, and it always will be. And I funnily enough, talking about that, I think PC gamers have been treated a little bit badly in terms of FM25, but that's another discussion. Your video for tactic. Which tactic was it? Veteran. Which tactic? The 4-1-2-2-1 or the 3 at the back? We're not doing particularly well here, but we are just soaking. That's what I wanted to do. Soak things up and then try and break on the counter-attack. I don't like us building up from the back. That's not supposed to be happening. But there we are. That's the counter-attack I was looking for, and Gray almost pinched it. Thanks, veteran mate. I am still growing. It's very slow, but I think that's probably my own fault. I think that because I took that 6 weeks holiday, and then I was away 6 weeks after the surgery, and YouTube doesn't like it when you take time off. And so unfortunately, it's my fault that we're not growing. The 4-1-2-2-1, I do love that tactic. I love the 4-1-2-2-1. I am considering going back to the 4-1-2-2-1. We have got them training in it, and we have played the 4-1-2-2-1 in this Newcastle save not so long ago, and it may well start. You should have won that ball, and we'd have been in. And it may well start coming back into fashion in Newcastle. And I'm not sure I'm happy with the right back out there, and the fact that he's attacking with Foden out there is probably a little risky. But at the moment, City are finding it difficult to break us down, and that's all that I want. I mean, all that I want to do today is not lose. Stay in touch with them. Lovely chance! What a chance! See them because we're 4 points behind City. If we don't lose, then we'll still be 4 points. And that's what I want today. It does give Chelsea the opportunity to push on a bit. But I just want us just to stay 3 points behind them. And at half-time we're doing okay, and I want to tell them that. We are the underdogs. Do I want to tell them they've defended well? No, I don't. I'm going to go to individuals instead. Gray's had a poor game. Jesus Abba has had a poor game. Some of these things for Jesus Abba, I think, is because he has to play on the cover. And I don't think he likes playing the cover. And which is possibly why his average ratings are slightly lower than they might be. Standard line is working nicely. City, you can see them trying to thread those diagonal through balls. And with a lower defensive line, it's very hard for the opposition team to do that. Because your defense is ready for it, and it's very difficult to find that space in behind them if your defense is lower. So the standard line is working. We're defending very well. I want to sneak that goal if we can. And that was unfortunate, but we don't score many from set pieces, it has to be said. So at the moment, I'm perfectly happy with how it's going. If we don't concede, keep a clean sheet. And Pacho, who is Pacho? Who is Pacho? What is he? What's he about? Well, Garvey has come on. They are more tired than we are. Who is Pacho, though? Centre back. Interesting. Does he have a weaker foot? Yes, he does. I want to go put him onto his right foot. The problem with that is that they'll be playing it across the back line to Rico Lewis. And if we can tight mark Rico Lewis, then that should close that area down. They are getting tired as the game goes on. And we are a lot fitter. Carioca and Gray are not playing very well. So we'll just give them a little rollicking for now. And we'll tell them I want more from them. And see if they improve in the next 5 or 10 minutes. But we are a lot fitter than City. We did rest the first team because we knew there was only going to be 2 days between this game and the last game. So we have a fit first team here who didn't play in the last game. Whereas City seem to be struggling a little bit more. And despite being told to dribble less, we're still losing the ball dribbling. Looking at Haaland, he's being pretty much tightly marked. That's poor. He did leave his marker then. If he'd flicked it on, we were in big trouble. Jesus Abba's not having a great game. But so far, we are still keeping them. Oops, here's Haaland. Oh, he's missed it. It was blocked, was it? And Chelsea are beating Sheffield United 2-0. These teams, they're just going on. They're winning. They just do not look like they're capable of losing. I mean, we've only lost 2. Keeping up with these Manchester City and Chelsea, who are just not losing any. The only game Manchester City have lost is when we beat them 5-0 earlier in the season. Andy's using a basic 4-4-2. I love playing with a 4-4-2, Andy. Love a 4-4-2, and that's why I actually don't like very much playing against a 4-4-2. It's very hard to defend against. Really hard. And City have taken the lead. My worst nightmares. And some of these boys, there's 3 of them not playing very well. 4 of them. Jesus, Abba is poor. So let's make some changes. Absolute nightmare. Euro can come on for Jesus. Abba. Probably switch those over. And then these 3 are not playing very well. Let's play Shazavari instead of Carioca. Gray can be replaced by Suwon. Veloso can be replaced by Mora. Interestingly enough, my assistant did say that I should be playing Mora. And he did score twice in the last game, so maybe I made a bad call there. But that's my worst nightmare. And it's Pacho who is causing the problem, as well as Pino. We're going to take Pino out of the game. I don't know if we need to then type mark Rico Lewis. If we don't need to type mark both of them. But they have been the better team. It's difficult to understand how we might have beaten them 5-0 in the last game. But we did. They are a much better team than we are at the moment. But we have money to spend. And we can strengthen our team. And we are going to up our game in a minute. But not yet. Wait till the last 15 minutes when they're getting really tired. And then we're going to try and get ourselves back into the game. Not getting shots on target has been an issue. Neves is having a poor game. Shazavari's got himself injured. That's not good enough. Tonali, Arwell Davis is not playing very well. In fact, nobody's had a good game. And that might be because I went into the low block. And that's why nobody's had a good game, because the tactic's all wrong. That's sometimes what the game is telling you. So I think it is time now to just do something a little bit better. So we are going to press them. We are fitter than them. We are going to push our lines up. We are fitter than them, and I want us to behave in that way. Aging like a fine wine. No, it's on extended highlights, veteran. I do like to see some of the game. I was watching RDF earlier today, and he's on key highlights, and there's like only about 5 highlights. There's nothing you can do. You're totally at the mercy of the game. And he was getting very frustrated because the opposition were having 1 highlight and scoring. And like he's saying, like I was saying, it's not fair that they just need 1 highlight and they score, where I've got to have 5 highlights. So I don't like key highlights. I like to see some of the game. We're now going to go attacking for the last 5 minutes. I'm going to push Arwell Davis up the field onto an attack duty. We haven't deserved to win this. City have been the better team. Oh, but we have equalised. Oh no, he's going to be given offside. The referee he did look offside. There's a big chance this isn't going to count. We haven't deserved to win it. It's been awarded. Get in. Do I want to go attacking now? No, I don't. I don't want to make any changes now. Well, he did look offside, but he see the man. Nice one. And I came here for a draw, and we've got one. Who was that keeping him onside? The central defender. So there we have it. We came for a draw, we've got one, but I don't think we deserved that. Although we have come back into the game lately. 7 minutes of added time. Go on, one more highlight for us, a corner or something. Go on. It's going to be one more highlight. Only 2 more needed. No, it's 1-1 now. We don't need any. We just need to keep this out. Nicely intercepted. Go on, Frimpong. Oh, he's blown the whistle, has he? 1-1, I'll take that. A good result, I would say, away at City. I'm going to take that quite happily. Well done, lads. They didn't play very well. But getting a draw when you're not playing very well against City is awesome. We are 6 points behind Chelsea, who beat Sheffield United. But we do have to play Chelsea. And if we can beat Chelsea, then we'll just be 3 points behind again. So what? Shazavari has been sold, has he? Has he been sold? Don't think so. Oh, perhaps from when we bought him. He's injured anyway. Who is this geezer? Superb signing. Doesn't look that good, does he? He is a good player, though, but I've just got so many attacking mids. It's interesting that his ratings, star ratings, did not match how good a player he actually is. I'm going to take that any day of the week. We have to play Salford now in the FA Cup, and so it's time to rotate big time. I think it's time to bring the second team out here. But that was a good result. I'll take that one. The club vision to qualify for the Europa League, and we're actually in the Champions League, which is why they I mean, I love that, failed just because we lost 1-0 in the Community Shield. So increased commercial revenue, is that my kind of like responsibility, or is that like, I suppose I could buy players who got where it says that they're going to bring in 3.6 million in shirt sales, or I don't think that's my responsibility though. Manchester United 6, Aston Villa 0. That doesn't happen in real life. People have been asking me about my reaction to the sacking of Ten Hag. What do you guys think in terms of the sacking of Ten Hag? What do you think? They're not a bad team, but we should be beating these absolutely comfortably. What do you got? Which assistant manager would you recommend? There's tons. Who have I got here? He's an assistant manager that I absolutely trust. If you've got someone with good tactical awareness, this is what you need to be looking at. Tactical knowledge And then judging player ability. Forget potential, doesn't need it. People management is also quite important. And then the 3, the triumvirate, as high as you possibly can. If we have a look for... I could get better than him, but he's doing a good job, so why do I want to change it? If we go and have a look, we should be able to afford... if we go and have a look, where's staff search? Go and have a look for an assistant manager. I think we'll probably bring up some of the best. Set pieces is at least 8. What's that about then? So we'll probably bring up some of the best around. And probably some of the worst. My recruitment team is huge. So yeah, it's just about looking for someone who ticks all those boxes. So we can even go and add attributes, judging player ability. Let's see if we can get one. Tactical knowledge and people management. Let's just go with those 3. We didn't get one, so that's what you're looking at. Let's bring that down. Now we've got some. So these will be good assistant managers. He will be excellent. Also, he's good with youngsters. He would be 17. He's got 14 tactical knowledge, 15. He would be excellent as assistant manager. But I like the guy I'm working with. He's doing a good job for me. He does a good job within the areas that I want him to do, training and opposition instructions, and so I don't have any problems with him. Don't need to change him. But yeah, just look at those attributes and get as best as you can. And then, I mean, once you've got him in there, let him do his job. What does the assistant manager do? He's an advisor. The assistant manager is an advisor. That's what he does, is he advises you. Put him to work doing the training. If he's good, get him doing his job. Why buy a dog and bark yourself? 6.1, but I keep telling him off. Florian Wirtz needs a ticking off. That's not good enough for him. He also does he let him advise you, and opposition instructions, team reports, all that stuff. Let him do his job, pretty much. I've got enough to do. I don't want to get involved in anything else. Hey, Tunkai, how are you doing? And you don't understand why he took the job. It's a reputation club, isn't it? He had to. If he turned that down, it's a stepping stone for him. Yeah, I'm pretty good, Tunkai. So I think that Ten Hag was going to get sacked anyway. It was like the time was up, and he's not getting the expected amount of football. Well, let's tell him. Right, good. I don't want to make promises to him. Aber probably does need to play. I might have to have a look at that. So I think Ten Hag's time was up. He was going to get sacked, and I think they were just dragging it out. How can we donate? That's very kind of you. I suppose the way to do it would be to click on Super Chat. I'm not quite sure how to do that, but there is probably somewhere where you can click Super Chat, and I don't quite know where that would be. Send a pasty through the post. That's so if you, I'm just going to put a video on here. Might be a bit loud.
Mute.
You can say, yeah, there you go. There's if the 3 little dots at the end underneath the screen, there's a thanks button. So you can click on that thanks button, and that will allow you. Yeah, well done, veteran. You're obviously better at this than I am. So I want to have a look at this team because there's still some boys. I think Mello should play. He can play instead of Valesso. I think Yoro probably needs a game. He can play instead of Guehi. Abba has not been playing well, needs to more game time. Doig, no. We need Frimpong to have a game. Patterson can have more game time on that side. Who is Rian Caswell? Never heard of him, but probably a good idea. Mello is a striker, that's why. Who was I thinking of? I want to give Shazavari a game, actually, but he's injured, isn't he? Florian Wirtz. Wirtz is fit again, isn't he? So let's bring Florian Wirtz in here. We'll play him for 50 minutes. I still don't know why Rian Caswell is in there, but we'll take him out. And Mike Parry, who is a winger, doesn't make any sense. Probably need... Oh, he does make a mess of the bench, doesn't he? Veloso, Guehi... Chris Lamb is an exceptional striker, I'm told. Guevara, Tonali. These two don't need them in there, so Carioca can come in there. Don't need Guevara. Guevara can go instead of Guehi. Actually, I'm going to play Guevara. He's going to get a game. That means we can rest Jesus Abba. Whew, it's tough picking this team for Salford. I don't have a striker yet, like Guehi. I don't need. I put Neves on the bench. He can play anywhere, Neves. Recently discovered your channel. Thanks, RCK. We'll call you RCK. Very kind of you to say so. I would say that I am not experienced at this game. I've only been playing 15 years. There are people out there been playing for 30 years. Send a pasty through the post. That is I'm expecting 4 pasties, Sainsbury's pasties, or better still, Ginsters, Andy, from you, and they still haven't arrived. Same here. I mean, 30 years you must have been playing veteran, so you're far more experienced than I am. And I mean, I so appreciate what people say when they're looking at how I'm playing here. He's not... let's recall him from loan then. I've had enough of this boy. We'll recall him. We'll just send him out again. Transfer. He's transfer listed as well. Maybe we'll just try and transfer list him for now. He's worth 50 odd million as well. He's a winger. I can't use him. So we're just going to get this game against Salford done. Then we have to think about who are we going to sign. I want to sell a couple of players first. Surely you're a Man United allegiance. You'd like to see Of course not, Mercury. Of course not. So yeah, I mean, I'm just saying that I feel like I'm a novice at 15 years. And I just like, I love reading what you guys say. And I do take advice as well. I'm perfectly capable of taking advice. I don't know if I want to be playing in a low block against Salford. I think we should be doing a lot more attacking. We should be absolutely taking the game to Salford, even with this team. So we do need to change the tactic a little bit. So we are going to put pressure on them. I'm going to play with a much higher line. We are going to get in their face. And we are going to hopefully show them that we are the better team. And we are going to play attacking. I'm going to put both wing backs on attack. And that's how we are going to play this game. Hi, Simon. And we should be beating. They've made a loan for Elijah Smith, rejected. Well done, reject away. What was that about Florian Wirtz? 75 minutes he can play. It's good to have Wirtz back in the team. Attacking to very attacking. It's a bit extreme. I don't think we need to do that. And so let's go and play football. Enjoying my tea. You enjoy your tea, mate. I've got a little orange juice here. Just to keep my whistle wet, as they say. Although I'm not a referee. We are favourites, and we need to... where's the best one? Precious. Oof. I think we are favourites for a reason. Yeah, I'm expecting. We don't say that very often to them, but I am expecting. Well, we'll just get his advice on this. Never press. What is that about? We don't do that. You know we don't do that. Can't see anything else I need to do at this stage. If we lose this game, there's no excuse. Absolutely no excuse. It'll just be FM throwing its toys out the pram. I mean, it does happen in real life. You rotate the team. I mean, you look at Leicester, for example, this week, rotated their team, and Man United scored 5 against them. And I'm not quite sure. The respect that Leicester showed to Man United was like, oh my God. They showed Man United no respect whatsoever. They paid for it. Florian Wirtz is injured again. That's good news. So what do we do now? We'll bring on Karaoke. That's not very good news. Florian Wirtz is struggling to play any football this season. Oh, he did play 10 minutes there. I couldn't work out what Ten Hag was trying to do. First thing about Ten Hag is that there was no plan B. That's it. There was a plan A. Whatever that plan A was the only one we had. And that's been given offside. And he couldn't adapt his game. He couldn't adapt. He couldn't look at a football match and say, we're not winning this. We need to change something. He didn't have that ability. And that's also down to the players and his belief in the players to be able to change and adapt. And that's down to his coaching staff, who couldn't coach them to be able to do that. So there were lots of problems. And the fact that he only had a plan A And I couldn't work out what that plan A was. And I can pretty much work out what teams are doing. I've been looking at what's the new manager's name that we're going to get in? Amarim, isn't it? And I've been looking at how he plays, and there's a clear way of playing that he's got, and I can work it out. And with the three at the back, he's got an attacking wing back on one side. He's got a more defensive wing back who does go forward, but he also might be playing an underlap on that left-hand side. So you can clearly see what these... He plays up the middle as well. He looks for attacking situations through the middle. So if you're going to do a tactic based on him, you'd be focusing play up through the middle. He likes to overload the middle spaces, which is why he's got that inverted wing back on the left. So you can clearly see, even watching a couple of videos, what he's trying to do. Ten Hag, you've got absolutely no idea what he's trying to do. It's total chaos. And the players all just seem to be doing their own thing. And that's not good. So I'm going to do... maybe if I'm well enough, I will start doing a live United rebuild using that 3-4-3 that I think he will play. So I might start that in the afternoons or in the mornings, maybe on Monday and Wednesday, Friday next week. Just see if we can do a little rebuild with Manchester United. I have been asked to do a rebuild with United, so maybe we'll do that and just incorporate that 3-4-3 and try and interpret how he's going to play. I'm totally not focused on this game at all, but it doesn't matter, we're 2-0 up. That'll do for me. I don't know who's even scored. Mora's got one and Larsson's got the other. Mora's been playing well, and maybe he deserves more game time, but it is only Salford. Let's be fair. And we should be winning this 7 or 8-0. Even though it's a rotated team, but there's still a lot of good players out there. And we did have Florian Wirtz on the pitch for 10 minutes. Go on, sir. Oh, that cutback is just so aggressive. Now we got both wing backs going up the touchline. It's so aggressive, this. Look how many players are in the box. Oh my goodness me. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players in the box. So aggressive. Maybe I should play like that against Chelsea. Let's go for them. Who knows what will happen. I think it'll be a high-scoring game because we're going to leave spaces at the back. And you can see the wide open spaces that we've got at the back. I actually might tell him to go a little bit further forward to the goalkeeper. Just to help out the defence a little bit. Yeah, I think... I don't know if he's going to be able to get that team into shape. There's usually a period after a manager gets sacked where they play fairly well. They're looking to impress the manager. But overall, that team dynamic at Manchester United is appalling. And one of the... Oh, there is another cutback, and it's now 4-0. Do you know, RCK, one of the things that I have a problem with in modern day football is how selfish players have become. And they're all trying to score themselves. So you've got a front three, you've got 2 wingers cutting inside. You've got attacking midfielders who are trying to score. They're all trying to score themselves. They're not looking for somebody who might be in a better position. And when I was playing football it was a quite a high level when I was a schoolboy. We were taught, football coaches taught us to look, before doing anything, look, was there someone in a better position than you are? And if you can see someone in a better position than you are, you pass the ball to him, and you have a better chance of scoring. He didn't discourage us from taking shots. Where we felt confident, he would want us to take shots if he felt we had the ability to take those shots. So I think that the modern day football, they have become much more selfish, and a lot of that is to do with goal bonuses, and a lot of it is to do with all the awards that they're throwing around. And it does annoy me a little bit that why are players so selfish? And I think maybe teams ought to be looking at giving assist bonuses rather than goal bonuses. The more assists you can come up with, the more money you're going to get. So throwing a goal bonus at everybody means everybody's going to try and score goals. And it does worry me that United have got a very selfish attitude. I can't say it will all change. Don't become complacent. I want them to keep it up, though. We had a lot of shots. That's done the job, that. They're all complacent on the bench, though. Yeah, and it worries me about United particularly, because you got Rashford, Garnacho, even Ahmad, Fernandes. They're all trying to score themselves, and I feel really sorry for Højlund because nobody passes to him. Nobody will pass to Højlund. It's not a bit of wonder that he can't score goals. I do feel sorry for him, and they really should be doing better than they're doing. And there's a lot wrong with that squad dynamics at United, and they've got to work that out. Whether this man can do it, I don't know. And that's 5-0. Yeah, Simon, I agree. They're much more selfish, and they also have too much power. Although Ferguson just squashed any power that they had. In fact, Van Nistelrooy, he fell out with Ferguson, didn't he? And then he never played. Once he had that argument with Ferguson, he never played again, and Ferguson sold him. So, yeah. We are taking them apart. Sorry if there are any Salford supporters in here. We're just taking them apart now. Yeet, Rashford needs to... I'd sell Rashford. I mean, I think we all think that Rashford's still 21 years old. He's old now. He's like 27 now. He's not a youngster anymore. He's not good, cutting it for me. He's not a good enough player. And there will be people who want to buy him. So I'd sell him, I would. And there are others. I'd sell. Anthony is one. Oi, that's not supposed to happen. Is he given that offside? Look at him. It's awarded. Look at him running back with the ball. 6-1 down. Come on, boys, we've got this. They're saying. So I'd get rid of Rashford. I'd get rid of Anthony. I didn't realise until I saw a video today that Anthony carries around his own personal photographer in case he scores. So he goes to every game with Anthony in case he scores, his own personal photographer to capture his celebrations. This is unbelievable. He should go. And There's so many others. I'm not happy with Casemiro. He's too old now. Maguire should go. It's just like all kinds of players should go from there. Even for me, Fernandez should go. They're just not good enough anymore. And Fernandez is just whinging too much, which has a knock-on effect. He was a good player at one time, but he's lost it in my book. And I think we got to have a big clear out over the next few years. Can't do it all at once. But and bring players in who want to play. Hurrah! 7-1. Absolutely, Simon. Agree with you. Well, there's been lots of poor signings. Another couple I'd get rid of. Ericsson and Mount. Goodness knows why they bought Mount. I don't even know what position he should be playing Mount. I don't know if he knows. It's just, there's so many problems. And we need to make some changes here. Talking of problems, Moreno can come in here. Guevara's on a card. Jesus Abba can come in there. Everyone's playing really well. Players that need a rest. Carioca. He can be replaced by Veloso. Siedemar needs a rest. He can be replaced by Lamb. Oh, he's been subbed already, isn't he? So maybe we don't want to do that. Yeah, why not? Why not? Save him for the weekend. I mean, everybody's going nuts about Ugarte now because he had a good game against Leicester reserves. Manchester United fans are really difficult to reason with, and their emotions go up and down like this. They're just like they beat Barnsley 7-0 and they're the greatest team in the world, and then they go and beat Leicester reserves 5-2, and now suddenly we're the greatest team in the world again, and Van Nistelrooy is the greatest manager. He just don't get it. Oh, we can't put any more on. It just I think it needs building up right from the bottom. Just like get rid of everybody and bring in players who actually want to play for the club, who are not in it for the money or the glory of winning the Golden Boot, or and I think about our signings. What happened there? And I think about the signings that say, like, look at Villa signing John Duran. What a signing that was. Why can't we find these players? There's no reason why we shouldn't be finding players like that. But never mind. He might be the man, he might not be. At the moment, we are strolling this game. But it's like attacking with all those players on attack. We've left ourselves a bit vulnerable, so we won't be playing like this against Chelsea. I will be playing Chelsea in the low block again. And the idea again against Chelsea will be to not lose. Oof. Very vulnerable. Yeah, Simon. Uh, I don't know, Yeet. Who do you think was the best manager post Ferguson? I got to admit, and I probably will be laughed at, but I liked it when Solskjaer was the manager. And probably people will laugh at me, but I still think that he did as well as anybody else. And we've got number 8. And it's nice. Jesus Abba gets himself a goal. So I would say, for me, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was probably the one that made me the happiest of all those managers that we've had come and go. I don't know. What do you think, Yeet? Look at that. The amount of key passes that this team puts together is so Mourinho, Mr. Money. So we have beaten them by 8 goals to 1. I'm a bit upset we didn't keep a clean sheet. The Wally with Wally with the Brawley. That's very happy with the result. Wally with the Brawley. And he's on form tonight. Boy. It's a nice one, Andy. Okay, so having beaten Salford, Steve McLaren, where do we go from here? Newcastle simply great. It was only Salford, let's be fair. Vert's out for another 5 weeks. He doesn't want to play this season, does he? Mora with a hat-trick. He has been playing well of late, hasn't he, Mora? I think I have to have a look at him. In his recent form. He got a 10 there. He's got a 9.5, 7, 6. In his last 5 games, he's been in tremendous form. He needs more game time. But I'm also aware that these other boys need the game time as well. It's hard managing this team. So do we have a break? Nope, it's relentless. We've got Bournemouth in the semi-final. Who have we got then? Everton. Need to rotate a little bit, but I also need to rest these players. So we'll rest those. But he doesn't need a rest because he's not training. There's no point recalling him to training, is there? He's not training. Karaoke also needs a rest. And so we march on. Failed to agree a move. He rejected the contracts. He wanted to move. I told him to look for other clubs. He agreed, and now he's rejected them. That's FM for you. 2 big clubs came in for him. Oh, we've got tons of people who can cover for Verts. We don't have to worry. Veloso and Mora are the 2 boys, I think, who should be playing at the moment. So we can definitely Mora. Veloso, he has been rested, I think. Where is he? So he can come in. So those 2 are our form players at the moment. Patterson and Peterson are the boys who need to be playing to keep them at the club. The skin yeet is the work the space skin, but it's the older version, not the new version. I believe the new version hasn't got as much on the game iPad as this one. So this one is the old version. I don't know if you can get the old version anymore. Probably. But it's the work the space skin. Enrique, quality. Shall I attempt to buy Marcos? Let's at least buy someone in this window. So let's go to the squad planner. And I look at our central defense. It does mean that Yoro can be pushed up into defensive midfield. Guevara's just and Bayomo's not very good. So I think I should at least dip my toe into the transfer window here, and I do like Marcos. He was with me at Coritiba, and although you might say he's not a perfect player, I think his mentals and his physicals are exceptional. I don't think he plays that much for Manchester United. He has played... What's this? I don't think he plays that much. What kind of a report is this for his form? 31, 32. So league matches, he's played 19. Oh, he has been playing all the games. How many games have played? 20. He's only missed one. I'm gonna actually put in a bid for him. I think he'll want to come. But it's whether United want to sell him. Yeah, and if that fails, then the other one is... There's another central defender. Antonio Silva, 28 years old. He is an exceptional central defender. He's not physically or mentally as good as Marcos, but technically a better player. Andy's right, George Best. That era, I loved it. George Best, Bobby Charlton, even I remember Nobby Stiles. They were great players. I don't know. What do you boys think? Antonio Silva, who is a better technical player, or Marcos, who's physicals? What am I doing here? Compare with Marcos. There we go. So looking like it, Marcos is a better physical player, but Antonio Silva, yeah, he's a better technical player. What do you guys think? Go for the physicality. Also, Marcos is only 21, while Antonio Silva is 28. He has more development. Loved watching Ruud. Yeah, he was a good, very, very good player. I mean, the Fergie kids team was a very, very good team. Eric Cantona. I mean, there was been some great players, but my favourite player. Yeah, I'm thinking Marcos. He can also play as the fullback as well. Hey Blob, how are you doing? Marcos, I think you're right, Andy. Let's go and see if United will entertain a bid for Marcos. If it goes wrong, we can always turn to Silva. So we'll ask the agent. We're very keen. He's very well. Of course, he's keen on joining Newcastle. He loves me. He was at 102. Not prepared to sell him mid-season. The wage is easy. That's I'm going to go and make a bid. 102 million. I'm gonna go with that. They are prepared to sell him mid-season then, are they? But that's they want 180 million for him. Well, we got to knock that down because that's not happening. We'll go 25 mil and 30. May want 26 mil. Let's give them 10 mil. They've gone with that. They are prepared to sell him mid-season, even in Bandung. Not trick or treat. Do you know these? I had a fight with somebody in Sainsbury's this afternoon, who said to me, "Have you all got all your stuff ready for trick or treat?" And I said, "I'm not taking part in that, and I'm hiding from it." And he had a right go at me for being mean and a nasty person. And he said to me, "Why are you not stocking up on candies?" I said, first of all, it's bad for their teeth, and secondly, it's commercialism again, and it's making money for big companies, and it does get on my nerves when that happens. And I tonight I went out for my little stroll about 6 o'clock. Which I have to do a couple of times a day just to get the heart pacing a little, and just seeing all these kids out with their parents, just going around from house to house begging for candy. It's kind of for me. I try to avoid it if I can. And I don't think we should be teaching kids this commercialism shit. But hey-ho, that's just me. And maybe he's right. Maybe I am just mean. And maybe it is just me. But I don't know. So there are players becoming available. I've got to sell some players. Dingwall is a striker. He's a good striker, but he's never going to get into this team. Bournemouth, we should be beating Bournemouth. Let's have a look at them. Yeah, they're not that good. Good dribblers. Good at through balls. So what we need to do is we're going to pull our line back a little bit. We're not going to counter-press them. We're going to go back to being a counter-attacking team. And we're going to go positive. We'll put the wing back on support now. This is not Salford. I mean, I don't think we should have anything to worry about here, but they do have pace and they are good dribblers. They do like a nice through ball. So we need to be careful. Manchester United have accepted 134 million. Do you think that's worth it? 134 million for Marcos. He is a powerful. They say he's a powerful centre back, and yes, he is. He's only 6 foot, and his heading ability isn't brilliant, but his tackling, his marking, his mentals are fierce. And he'd be a good cover defender. He's got good pace. I think he's worth it. I think we ought to ask Abba, who played with him in Coritiba, And Abba's confirmed that Marco's extremely interested. Did we do... Oh, my assistant's gone and done the contract. Let's skip the draw because there's too many teams. Make money on shirt sales? I don't think so. He's not that high reputation a player, Andy, to be fair. So I don't think that I'm going to make too much money. That, to be fair, it's not my job. And I'm not going to buy players simply because I'll make money on shirt sales. But he's certainly a very good player, and he is my plan to have at the back with Jesus Abba eventually. Yoro and Guehi at the back. I don't have a problem with that. Guehi needs more game time. I'll switch them over. No, actually do it that way. I think. He wants them switched over. I'll take his advice. I think Yoro is a bit pacier, so he probably knows better than I do. Tonali, Landerson, Carioca, and Veloso. I want to keep Mora and Veloso playing. Siedema and Sawone. Who's he got up the top there? Yeah, he's going to go with that. Carioca, Velosa, Landerson and Tonali. Yeah, Tonali hasn't played in a while. So, let's go with that. And then Florian Wirtz has to come out of that. So Moreno. So Frimpong. Oh, we'll leave Moreno and Doig on the bench. And who else? Bayomo. Short of players to fill the bench at the moment. Neves, Carioca, Larson, Chris Lamb. It's because Kanote, Kamalo, and then the injuries to good players and Gray on the bench. Unhappy. I believe the... Well, he wants to talk to... I told you, I'll sell you. I think you're ready to be playing at a higher standard. Where's that? I'll just sell you. Who'll do it that way? Whatever. I don't know what I was saying there. Hey, Tales of the Tape, how you doing? Yes, it's been a while. Good to see you, though. Oh, you are doing that. I was just saying earlier, Tales, that I'm going to start one of those live next week. I'm going to be doing a Man United rebuild with Amarim's 3-4-3. So it'd be kind of interesting to see how... Well, I probably won't know how you've set up, but I have... oh, look at all those. I have been working on how he might play, looking at some games, Sporting CP games, picking out things, and I think I've got it worked out how he plays, so that'll be fun. How is your rebuild going? You've just started. Is it going well? Pleased with the progress, pleased with the playing time, pleased with the playing time, pleased with the playing time. Pleased he has a future at the club. Pleased with the playing time. Was expecting more playing time. Yeah, I expect he was expecting more playing time than 10 minutes. But this is silly. He's been injured for the last 3 months. So how am I supposed to play him when he's in hospital? This is really silly. And what FM's doing is it's trying to make me sell Florian Wirtz. That's what it's doing. So they're injuring him and then saying, I'm not playing him enough. Another example of how this great game cheats. And nothing I can do. If he's in hospital, I can't play him. It's really funny sometimes. Did I sort this team out? Yeah, it's getting hard to do a bench, and Frimpong. Arwell Davis is going to need to play at some time. So as he's pleased and Peterson is pleased, I'm going to play those two. Just give them some game time so they know they're not being forgotten. And this is a big game now, a very big game. We're going to go... Oh, I don't want to do that. Hit early crosses. What am I doing? So let's go to the tactic and take that off. We'll work the ball into the box. Yeah, I'm happy with that team. Perfectly happy. Suwon is getting a little bit of game time, which is good to see. Good young player. Yeah, so Casemiro, Mount and Bruno, I'd like to sell those in real life. Pick up where you went off, where you left off last time. That's 8-1 victory. You got to be careful when you're saying that, because there might not be many players in this team who actually played in that game. So you got to tell them, pick up where you left off last time. They're going to get a bit confused. What was the last game that I played in then? They might not have played in that game. So you got to be careful when you're using that one. Suwon. That boy is going to come into his own, is he? But what happened, though? I think it was the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper made a right mess, was it? The goalkeeper? No, it wasn't the goalkeeper. It was the central defender headed it onto his head. I'm going to change the camera angle. Which one is it? Is it the sideline? And then we'll bring this camera height down. Bring the zoom in. It's not the sideline. Is it vertical scrolling? No. Which one do they use? It must be the sideline that they're using. But it's not working very well for me. Camera angle low. I just want to try it out. So, yeah, I think this is the one that a lot of people use, where the camera just moves up with the play. I'm not quite sure it makes it better than the TV. Does it make it easier to read the game? I don't think so. I think it's better to watch it in TV style. It's like watching a tennis match. And it does seem to be further... Oh, he's offside anyway. Yeah, miles offside. I think I'll go back to TV. I like the TV. The Penguin, it does take some getting used to. I don't like it particularly. Hey FM Rach, how you doing? Oh, not another injury. Swoan is injured now. Ah, you're pushing me, aren't you, FM? You're pushing me. Well, we've got Gray, one of the best players in the world, to come on. I wanted Swoan to play a lot of games in January. Now he's got himself injured. So whilst I had a very, very good, strong squad with the players away on international duty and with the injuries, struggling a bit now. Oh, Mora, he's in good form. What a player. I'm pretty good, Rage. Up and down as usual, but I'm pretty good. How are you doing? Nice. I'm going to do a live stream, Rage, with everybody seems to be jumping on that, but I'm going to do a live stream rebuild starting next week in the mornings, and going to use my interpretation of that 3-4-3. See how it goes. Hey Neil, how you doing? Game looks so much better with proper 2D kits. Yeah, probably does. But I mean, I've got so many mods in here now, and I'm actually thinking of changing the database, so I might have to take most of the mods out. And now Tonali has got himself injured, and now are they going to score? Tonali's got himself injured, has he? Doesn't look injured to me. No, he's fine. What are you talking about? I'm going to switch those over. Not that way. I do not like the way these things... You've got to do it that way. I'm going to switch those over. I don't want Tonali playing too far forward anyway. It's close. 2D, actually 2D, if you're setting up tactics, I mean, I will use 2D a lot when I'm trying to tweak my tactic. When something's not working, I'll go to 2D and try and figure out what it is. But I don't think it is the greatest thing for people to be looking at if you're streaming. We're 1-0, aren't we? Don't get complacent out there. But yeah, if I'm doing a tactic, then 2D is what you'd look at. This is okay because I can still see the shape my boys are in, and then I can zoom out and have a look. So this TV is okay. It still lets me see what shape they're in, or what shape they're not in. That's more often happens. But we are definitely the better team here. But we are not creating enough. No, we don't want to do that. It'll slow the game down. Oh, nice one. Go on, son. Go on, Veloso. Yes, get in. 2-0. Looks like the final beckons. Although we do have to go away to Bournemouth yet. Well, we came here to win trophies. It doesn't matter what trophies they are. We'll win them. Nice play by Gray. Veloso and Mora are in very, very good form, those two. Yeah, absolutely. That's what I was saying. I don't know what mods I've got. I think I've got the kits loaded here. I think so. Is the referee given a penalty there? No, a corner. I think I have got the kits loaded, although I can't be sure. I have put lots of mods in. I know I've got the real names loaded for sure. Yeah, definitely. Is one of them is a segundo volante. It is the left-hand side one. That's the segundo volante. If you look at the way they play tails, you can see it's the left-hand side one who's pushing forward, but he's only on support. He doesn't go into the box much. So I would only put him on a support role because he only will go so far, the segundo, which is quite unique, that he doesn't go into the box very much. So I'd put him on a support role. Just my interpretation, of course. Right, some of these boys are not doing the business here, but they're not tired, so I'm going to let them go a little bit more. Just let them go a little bit more. Nobody's playing particularly well. Arwell Davis is on a 7.5. But it's nice to see us beating Bournemouth. Again, though, we are like winning games here. And although we had that 1-1 draw against Manchester City, it's with another session we're doing where we're unbeaten here. Oh, Guehi. What's the matter with Guehi now? I didn't manage to see that. I know he's mentioned Tonali and Guehi, so I think... Oh, he might be on a yellow card. Yeah, that's the... Yeah, let's bring Boyomo on. Don't want a red card. And if I ignore that, he will probably get sent off. I see I'm struggling for forwards now. With Suone injured. Mora, he's doing all right. Everybody's doing all right, actually. Tonali was mentioned in dispatches, so we'll bring Neves in to do that. You are with ball playing on wide centre back. Yeah, wide centre back on the left would be good. Ball playing defender, I think, on the right hand side. That's what I've gone with. But I went with a wide centre back on the left. So we're not far different. Tails, it's not. We're pretty close. Landerson and Mora and Arwell Davis. So let's bring Doig on. Yeah, that's why I would put the Segunda Volante on support, so that, because watching the videos of Sporting play, he doesn't go into the box. He very rarely gets as far as the penalty area. So it's an interesting. I've just put him on a support. He does go forward. So I just put him on a support role rather than. Hi trainer, how you doing? When should I man mark and when should I mark through opposition instructions? A very, very good question. This is obviously zonal marking or man-to-man marking. Interestingly, working on what we're talking about Marimar, what he does, he's got a combination of man marking, and it does seem that way, a combination of man marking and zonal marking, the zonal pressing. I think if you want to push a team in one particular direction, then you would use a man marking style. So if you want to, like I did earlier in one of these games, whoops, well done, good win. So if I can bring up a team screen here. Arsenal beat Tottenham. We are 2-0. Everton. Oh, what's happened here then? 6 points behind. Interesting. So, for example, if I want a team to play down their right-hand side, then I'm going to have my striker in here. I'm going to want him to push the play this way. So I'm going to have him marking, tight marking Euro, for example, and have him force him also onto his right foot. So using tight marking to force him to go this way. And then I'm going to have a winger or an attacking mid. I'm going to have him tight mark the fullback. So basically I'm using tight marking to stop them doing anything, to force them into this area, but then to stop them doing anything. Over on this side then, I'm going to use a more pressing style, so that because I don't need to tight mark these, so I'm just going to use triggers for these down this side so that the whole team will trigger, and that's more of a zonal style down this side. So I'd use a tight marking style, a marking style over this side, and use a zonal style down this side. That's when I'd mix the two up. But tight marking, it's dealer's choice, really. I'm not a great fan of counter-pressing anyway. I would use tight marking for players who you want to take out of the game. Tight marking is for somebody's playing well, or is going to have a good game, or is going to be a problem for you. Take him out of the game. Tight marking means that wherever he goes, you're going to have a player standing next to him. You can specifically have someone follow him around if you want, but it's the same thing. If you tight mark him zonally, wherever he goes, somebody's going to be standing next to him. So what that basically means is that you're going to stop him getting space before he gets the ball. So the team are going to not really want to play the ball to him. The tighter you mark, so you can instruct your player to mark even tighter, the less they are going to look for him. Whereas zonal marking is the closing down. So when a player receives the ball, that's when you're going to want to close down the space. You'd use that for somebody who's good at long-range shooting. Definitely don't use that when somebody is a good dribbler. And we see that quite often in FM when their winger has got the ball here. Your fullback goes zooming past him. It's a poor way of showing that you're closing down too much. There's really a number of things you got to consider, mate. I would say the easiest thing to do in terms of whether you use man marking or trigger press, go with the trigger press. It's easier to manage than tight marking. That's the only advice I would give to you. But it's complex. It's not easy. Generally, I try to use a combination of both. The wide forwards for the press was... I didn't... Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, mate. It's a difficult subject, and difficult to just give you a short answer. The sporting one, I put the wide players here, attacking mids, and then I told them to run wide with the ball. And I'm still working on that because it's probably not right, and I should probably have wingers who are sitting narrower and playing as like number 10s. So I still haven't got that worked out. But you're probably right that I should be playing them wider and having them coming in and playing them as number 10s. Yeah, you're probably right, Treneman. Well, by the way, if there is anybody in the chat who has not yet, 3 to 5 weeks, I wanted him to play throughout January, who's not pressed the like button, give us a like. It does help me. And I need to rest these players, I think. Where's the schedule? Yeah, they need to be rested. If I don't rest them, I'm going to be in trouble. So there, and I don't need to rest him because he's injured. And hopefully that will do the job for me. So, who have we got? Everton, we should be. Where he is also suspended now. My team and squad is getting more and more depleted as we go into the busiest month that I've seen in a long time. Okay. Karaoke's becoming a very good player. So I wonder, is Marcos... Who's Levy? 19-year-old young kid. Only sign as a last resort. Oh, let my director of football play a little bit. The fans won't be very pleased, but let him have a couple of players. It's only 100k. So I don't know. It's going to be fun putting that little stream together and just seeing how it works out. United playing with 3 at the back. It's hard to imagine them being able to do that. Who's Gwyn's? Who's this geezer? 5-star potential, 57 million. Why have I not seen him? He's only got finishing of 9 though. But then finishing isn't that big a deal. Shall I play him? Shall I play him against Everton? But I've got Gray, who sat on the bench last time. So I don't think I need to. So too many players. I think I'm in danger of that happening as well. I'm gonna... Yeah, let's play Peterson. Patterson is still happy, isn't he? But Patterson is going to be sold anyway. So he's been transfer listed. Inter Milan are interested. So I'd not really have to worry about Patterson too much. Karaoke and Mora. I'm not sure when I've got Gray here that I need to be worrying too much. We can put him on the bench. Neves also can come onto the bench for Chris Lamb. I don't have much more. Patterson can play right or left. And we have to have Arwell Davis then instead of Mike Parry. I've got Yoro and João Neves on the bench. And Everton, where are they in the league? 11th, so they're no mugs. But I think we should be quite positive with a home team. I think we should be fairly positive against Everton. Do I play with the press? I'm going to start with the counter press. Which do I have to... Oh, this one. Had to play get homesick. Oh, Marcos is coming in. Canote set for a move to Arsenal. No, he isn't. He's believed to be interested in because they can offer him continental football. So can we. He's playing continental football. And United have signed Paulo Roberto, defence. I could do with bringing in players like that. Marcos is coming in. Marcos set to sign. 2 ex-Coritiba players going to be in my in my back 4. I think I need to go to a back 3 actually. I think I should go back to my well, they're pleased to sign him. I wasn't that enamoured by him. He's not bad, but he's nowhere near the calibre of the players that I've got. He is, on the other hand, an exceptional player. So he can actually go on the bench now, I think. He's not registered though, is he? But he can still go on the bench, can't he? Coritiba as my development team. You know, the funny thing about that, Stephen, was like it was so much fun playing with like that youth setup. It was absolutely awesome. And so, yeah, it was Coritiba. I've got 3 players now in the team who've come from Coritiba. What a good team they were for that Brazilian league. But they all came through the youth ranks. And I always knew that I was going to be taking Kumalo with me and Jesus Abba. And I'd forgotten that Marcos Canate he's not going to leave. Marcos was actually playing for Man United, so now we have 3 from Coritiba. And if you remember, I almost brought with me Helinho, who was the DM, the young DM. I ummed and ahed about Helinho as well. Blimey. So, what a team. It could be Coritiba in the end. To defend against 1 attacking midfielder and 2 strikers. Oof. Tight mark the attacking mid. That's generally my way of approaching that. You're deep lying forward. You don't want to touch him. Because he's going to wander all over the pitch. And we need to win this because all the other teams are winning. What happened to Chelsea? Chelsea lost. Here we go. Chelsea's time might be coming. Yeah, let's go attacking. Let's go attacking. Let's try and take them by surprise. Let's go and take Everton by surprise, shall we, boys? Yeah, and the other one just depends on how good he is. So the one of them will be a deep lying forward who doesn't, who's going to wander about. Don't tight mark him, leave him alone. And then the other one is going to be an advanced forward, a poacher, and you're going to have to tight mark him. If he's a good player. If he's not very good, then don't bother. Well, no, we don't do never press. But always tight mark. If he's a good player, then always tight mark the attacking mid. I mean, here, he will be somebody that I'm keeping an eye on. Generally, I want to tight mark these boys. If they are but I'm looking at how tired they are, and so I don't really need to do anything particularly at this point in time, but keep an eye on it. One or two of them will have really good games, so you just got to take them out of the game. If they start to play well, take them out of the game, but always make sure that you've got the players who can do that. If you've got players who can't mark in that position, then there's no point in telling him to type mark that player. So if your DM isn't very good at type marking, you probably need to sell him because he needs to be able to mark the number 10. So yeah, and for me, when I'm buying midfielders, they've all got to be able to mark and tackle. That's it. If they can't do one of those, they're not coming. So that's the bottom line for me. Oh my goodness me, Tails. Aguero, Rooney, Ronaldo and Tevez. Which database are you playing? Come on, boys, we need to beat Everton. And we're not doing very well at the moment. Probably because my lines are too high. Good save. Yeah, but we're only playing with a standard line. I'm going to go into a low block for a little while. Come off the press. Just try and figure this out. And we don't want to be then... we don't want to be doing that. We're just going to try and figure this out. We're just going to get bodies behind the ball while I figure out why Everton are doing so well. And we're going to go back to balanced. Let's get them thinking a little bit more. Attacking style didn't particularly work. So I need to get this momentum back. So that's why I've slowed everything down. Here we go. Let's get the momentum back, boys. Come on, come on. We've got this. You go. What a manager. Slow it all down, boys. Get back here into a low block. Let's take a look. Mora, get in. That'll take us into the third. What a manager. Oh, really poor defending, though. Has to be said. Frimpong. Who's this? Molero. I have to keep an eye on him. High tempo only if your team is a good passing team. And directness is really about... Oh, I say, Larson! Directness is really about how comfortable they are playing in that style. I personally prefer to be playing short passing, but that's just a style preference. But you know, standard or more direct passing is just about how comfortable the team are playing in that style. The Ipswich save that I've got going has been described by the game as Route 1. I don't know if it is Route 1. It will be the first Route 1 tactic I've ever put together. But they do play more direct with a high tempo. But they are comfortable playing that way. Why did I go to a low block? Because I sensed that they were overloading. If I stop it here, I sensed that Everton were getting too many players in this area. From the few highlights I saw, and this is a big worry. If they're overloading this area, I need to get bodies behind the ball, and that's what I did. And at the moment, I don't want to lose games, and so getting bodies behind the ball meant that I'm just going to be defensively a bit more responsible. I also went back to balanced and solved the problem. I needed to get control of the game, basically, and not give them so many chances. And it worked. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But generally, we're doing all right in terms of things working at the moment. So really simple. If overloading players in this area just outside the box, then you need to get more players back. You could have used a mid block, but I just decided, let's go low block. Let's get control of this game. I don't need to change it at the moment. We've got all the momentum back now. We've basically stopped them playing. And the game has rewarded me for some reason. So I'm actually very pleased with them, the way they've dealt with that. Depends on your line again. Look at the lines. I'm playing with a standard line. And the reason for playing with a standard line is that I don't trust my defense completely in terms of mistake making. So I just nudge them back a bit and then get them to step up more. I want to compress that space because there's a big space. So I'll step up more. If I was playing with a much higher line, I might drop off more. You've got to keep an eye on how the game is playing out. And look at your midfield. And so you can see your Everton midfielders are here. And I've got 1, 2. He's slightly low. He's not. So if Everton actually can switch the ball back this way, they've got overloads out here because he will have a ton of space. So it's just reading the game, basically. But at the moment, they're going this way, so it doesn't matter. I might ask him to step up a bit more. If they were both a little bit too distant, I might ask him to step up. So just reading the game, really. If they're too high up and they're skipping past, then drop off. Sometimes you'll see that the forwards are right on the shoulder when they're attacking. They're right on the shoulder of your defenders. Then if they are causing you problems, then drop off. It just gives them more time. But I don't use the drop off very often because generally I've got the defensive line is either standard and we have bags of pace in our defense, so standard's about right. They're standard because I don't quite trust them in terms of their attributes like composure, decision making at the back. They are prone to making mistakes. By dropping them back, we've got this team beaten now. More. By dropping the line back, when they receive the ball, it gives them a split second more time. So when he's got the ball here, he's got more time to distribute it. And that's the only reason why I've got the line back there. So it kind of like all fits together. Also, it's about knowing your team. And you have to know your players. What they're good at, what they're not good at. And once you know your players, this game's really easy. So again, I'm looking at this space, but they're not overloading. They didn't overload that space. They got a shot away, but it wasn't very wasn't very dangerous. So at the moment, we've got complete control of this game. Set pieces, of course, I can do nothing about. I hate defending set pieces. It's like something that's totally out of my control. I don't like losing control of anything. It's terrible. They are coming back into the game a little bit more, but I'm not too worried. We're 3-0 up. It's time for me to get some of these players off and give them a rest. Let's go and make some changes. Should I bring on Marcos? Should I bring Marcos on and give him a game? We're 3-0 up. Just give him a game. That's like, what a player he is. He should be playing as the cover, really. So maybe I'll just put Jesus Abba here and allow Marcos to play as the cover. Again, I've got two cover defenders, really, but absolutely tails. That throw-in, especially on the right-hand side. It's the right-hand side throw-in you've got to look at. See, Damar, what is the matter with you? This boy is going to get his debut. See, left or right-footed? Let's put Gray on the right. He can go on the left. A debut. And then Landerson. What is the matter with you? And Yoro can come on there. I think that's enough for now. We'll see. Frimpong's getting tired, so Patterson can come on there. And let's see this game out now. So basically what I'm doing when this is happening is I'm scanning the pitch and I'm looking at my shape, looking at my midfield, on everything looks good. Basically, it's exactly what I want. I've got a lot of threat up through the middle part of the pitch, which is what I should have. We now see I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players attacking. And that's why we're doing so well. Defensively is always the harder one to gauge. But you're looking for spaces. Always look for spaces. Where are there spaces? Because FM will use the spaces that you leave, basically. So if you go and leave a big bunch of spaces... I was watching RDF earlier, and I didn't want to say anything, but he was playing with a much higher line, and he couldn't understand why teams were breaking against him, and they actually, one game, they scored twice, 4 times actually at the end of the game. He drew 4-4 and they had 4 shots and 4 goals. And it's because his line was far too high, and I just like did say to him, they're getting in behind you. And he couldn't see it, which is surprising for him. But FM does that. If you leave space, it will use it. It's a very clever game. The AI is very simple in that respect. Gotta love it. And it will punish you for leaving great big holes at the back. So when I'm defending and looking at my defense, I'm looking for space. And it's either going to be in front or behind. It could also be down the sides, but it's unlikely with this setup. Oof, what happened there? And Everton are not good enough to actually produce that space down the sides. Oh, what a chance. Oh, it's that debutant. What's his name? Gunazu. Gunazu. Is he going to be the next superstar? Time to make a couple more changes, I think. Jesus, Abba and Marcos together. We need Kamalo back now, and then it'll be Coritiba. Complacent. Who's the tiredest? Larson, Mora. Let's give Neves a game. See this game out. I love playing with a 4-4-2. Love it. 4-4-2 is awesome. I think Andy said he was playing with a 4-4-2 at the moment. And I actually hate playing against a 4-4-2. It's the worst one to defend against. Because they will exploit you. If you can't play a high line against a 4-4-2, they will exploit that. But we've taken these boys apart. And it's interesting how the low block has actually done it. But we just pretty much stopped them playing outside our penalty area. And that was it. Job done. Come on, boys. Let's make it 4. We deserve 4. Oops. That was poor defending. Was that Marcos? Is that Marcos making that error? Yeah, looks like he went down from a 6.8 to a 6.6. He will become a great player. Better had 134 million. I need to check what the board think about that signing. I think he should play as the cover defender. 3-0. That'll do for me, Tom. Another fine victory. And we're actually only 3 points behind them now. We have a game in hand on Chelsea. So we could go level with Chelsea. It's all looking a little bit better now. Chelsea lost to Brighton. It's all looking better now. Marcos. I want to, I just want to... Mora is in outstanding form. So is Veloso. So I just want to have a look at what the board... Delighted with the financial aspect of the Marcos signing. Oh, the supporters, what do they think of the signing of Marcos? Don't say. But I think he's a great signing. I'm trying to convince myself. I do think he's a very, very good signing, though. And what that does mean now is that Yoro can go up into... We can train him now as the anchor. We'll take control of that. Oh boy. Where's he lacking? He's not really lacking anywhere. He's a very good player. Very good player. His passing is good. I just might actually get him to do some defensive positioning, marking, could come up a little bit. Yeah, let's get him to do that. It's probably not going to do much, but just get him to train as a DM. That solves my DM problem. I think it's a very, very good signing. Still got 43 million to spend. We now have Bournemouth to play, which we will do. The mad scientist is making for FM25. I haven't heard anything about that, to be fair. None of that 3-4-3 woke nonsense. I do like a 3-4-3. I'm thinking of going 3-4-3 with this team. sorry to have to say, Penguin. Well, actually, it's in my mind. Shall I go 3 at the back? So once again, we've gone 4 games without defeat. And I'm going to call it a day there, boys. It's now 10 past 10. The thing is, Tails, the 4-2-3-1 is the most effective tactic that you can use in FM24. If you want to be successful, use the 4-2-3-1. And if you, like, for boys who don't know how to set tactics up, just go and play with a Gegenpress 4-2-3-1 and you can't fail. And you could even just go into your tactics and just ask the game to load up a Gegenpress 4-2-3-1 and you can't fail. You're doing the retro. Do you recommend that I actually do that then, Andy? Which I don't know. Should I do some saves with that, Andy? What do you think? I mean, I don't know. Am I biting off more than I can chew is the other matter. I want to do this Man United rebuild. Do I need to rest these boys? Yes, I do. But I do want to give it a try. I've got to admit. Canote, but they're on international duty, aren't they? It's fun. They gave away 20s like candies back in the day. Hey, Tungai, how you doing? Before you close the stream, I plan to start FM stream time. Do you have any suggestions for me to consider to start FM contents and live stream? Suggestions? Yeah, go for it. Download OBS, learn how to function in OBS. Go for it. I'm finding that people are watching streams at all sorts of times. I'm watching streams during the day. I go for it, but don't expect amazing results straight away. It takes time. And there's hard times and there's good times. But I'd say to anyone, if that's what you want to do, then go for it. It's fun. I love streaming. I love the interaction I get with you guys, and so I will never stop streaming. And most of my stuff is going to be streaming from now on, because it's the best way to do it. So yes, Tunkai, go for it. If you want, I mean, I'll come along and have a look at what you're doing for sure. Go for it. It's good fun. Meet really nice people. 1966 database. Blimey. I might have to download one of them and have a look at it. But I think I've got too much to do in the near future. I've still got Ipswich to focus on, especially as they're unbeaten. I've got to finish this Journeyman, and I want to do the Man United rebuild. I think there's plenty of stuff going on. Yeah, well, if you want to do it, Tunkai, do it. It's good fun. You meet nice people. Just don't expect too much in terms of views and subscribers early on. It doesn't happen like that. It takes years. But it's fun. And if you enjoy doing something, then do it. That's my advice to you. Go for it. I'm going to call it a day here, boys. And we keep having these episodes where we're going unbeaten. And we've been unbeaten since that West Ham nonsense. And that means that we've gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 games without being beaten. So we're doing very well. We're closing the gap. Can we be champions this year? Can I get more players in this transfer window? Will I sell players? We'll find out next time. The transfer window will finish next time. I'm happy to get Marcos in. What to do with my defence now is what I need to work out. Thanks for coming, guys. Really enjoyed it. I've had a really good time. And hopefully we'll see you on Sunday, where we'll finish the transfer window. Have a great time, guys. If you haven't left a like, make sure you leave a like before you leave. It does help the channel. And if we can grow, get more people in, get more people interacting, what a great thing that will be. Thank you very much, guys, for coming and supporting the channel. Have a great night. Stay safe, and we'll see you next time.